that. Mike, just to address your question, if that logic were applied, there would be no businesses in Athens. So I don't get it. I have a business, no tax break. Restaurants, no tax break. Carry them on down, you get no tax break. You're not leaving, I didn't leave, the restaurants haven't left. Athens Gen's going nowhere. That's it. Thank you.
So at this time, does anybody else want to speak? Are you?
Yes.
Okay, your name?
Matthew Rosales.
You can come up.
Yeah, okay.
Just state your name for those.
Hi, Matthew Rosales. I'm a resident here in Athens, not affiliated with government, plant, IDA, etc. One of the points that I wanted to bring up when I was going through the document, the key piece of information that is a little bit of the elephant in the room, and thanks for highlighting that, is what financial capability does the plant have to actually pay taxes in general? And there was no financial analysis in that document of the plant's ability. There was reference to the bankruptcies, but if anybody's been through a bankruptcy or knows how the process works, that a bankruptcy, especially a voluntary one, is where you are seeking protection from your creditors. In other words, the plant might have been totally profitable, but it had too high debt load, or it had contracts, let's say, fixed prices for power, for example. The previous speakers have already discussed that this is a peaker plant, so it only comes online when there's high demand on the power grid. High demand means high prices. And since that financial information wasn't available, did a little bit of look online. Energy is highly regulated. You can download quite easily power rates, wholesale power rates for the Northeast. Last year, as we all know here, our power got very expensive because of the high natural gas prices. Their generating costs also went up. So in a typical year, this is according to S&P, the Athens plant generates at something like $20 to $40 per megawatt hour. They generate about 1.7 million megawatt hours. So that's 1.7 trillion watt hours of power. And they're doing that in a typical year between $20 and $40. Last year was about 70 because of the high natural gas prices. But the prices that were paid to the grid at peak loads were about $270 per megawatt hour. So if you back that out, that's a profit, a gross operating margin for the plant from somewhere between $331 million, or at the low end, if you're assuming the average price for the year, about $31 million. In either case, at the low end, that's something like a 30% gross margin. I know there's a lot of operating businesses in the area, especially restaurants. Nobody operates at a 30% margin. So when we're talking about, I just wanted to lay the foundation for and this is the analysis that should have been in the report. So I think my position here is that report is very misleading. And the financial analysis that all of us wanted to see is what is their capability to pay taxes, and are those taxes actually going to endanger that business's ability to pay operating costs, painting, maintenance, etc. And is that going to impact their ability to pay taxes? Again, in the bankruptcy proceeding or even in a debt payment, the taxes always come out before your payments to creditors. So even if the plant had the financial capability to pay taxes, there might not have been enough money left over if they had, say, $1 billion in debt on the plant. The current holding company, which is a question that came up, is an operating subsidiary of a bank that has basically taken possession over the plant. They will eventually sell it again. Banks don't want to operate assets like power plants. They want to get 10 cents or 20 cents or 30 cents back on their dollar for the loans that they put out. But when you have a plant that generated, and again, this is a conservative estimate, $31 million last year, they can absolutely pay the money that is being requested of them in the tax revenue. So, and again, if you look at same numbers, you say, okay, what were they making back in 2020, 2019? I mean, we're talking like 60% gross margins. The plant is going to be very important. As we know, a lot of people are going to renewables. Renewables don't run all the time. That's why you need natural gas peaker plants like this. When it's cloudy or the wind isn't blowing, these plants come online, they generate power, they keep our lights on. So the plant is not going anywhere. It will continue to be a citizen in this area. and again, the information, the financial information would have been very helpful from the IDA, but, you know, we're supposed to be a democracy, and having some organization going and doing back deals with a company that absolutely should be paying its fair share in taxes is really egregious. So strong opposition to this proposal. Thank you.
Sorry, I do have page 8. Carrie Gardner.
So I just want to start by saying I like electricity a lot. We use it all the time. But I think there's one thing that has not been considered in all of this, and that is the law of New York State. The, let me make sure I say it right. The Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. The goal of the CLCPA is to eliminate 100% of the climate pollution caused by humans, calling for an 85% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. I actually think that's a little late for the situation we're in. With an interim target of 40% by 2030. That's only 7 years from now. There's also been a recent report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change that, in essence, I won't read the quotes that I have on my paper here, but basically it's saying that humans are causing the heating of the planet, and if we don't do something soon, we're really screwed. So, in essence, what I want to say about this IDA issue is perhaps it's time to stop granting this gas-burning energy plant the benefit of a pilot and let the corporate owners pay their fair share of taxes. That's the essence of this, so let's do the right thing and deny this pilot. And please, after this meeting, see me about another major issue with the Iroquois expansion project. 1/4 of a mile away from the generating plant.
Miss Hughes.
He answered most of my questions.
Come on. I just need your name stated for the
Joe
record.
I have a written report I want to give you.
Okay, thank you.
Have to take classes off when I get older. I have some questions, and I've reviewed the finding statement, plus a lot of review on the New York State website. So my questions, and I'll be fairly quick so people can have the opportunity to come up. The original Athens Gen pilot of 20 years is completed. The IDA is proposing an additional 20-year pilot for the same pilot that has just been completed. My review of General Municipal Law Article 18A, 859-A, additional prerequisite to provision of the financial assistance, and 858, which is the purpose and the powers of the IDA, indicates to me that it is unclear whether an IDA can extend or renew a completed 20-year pilot. If the proposed pilot is approved, the IDA board will have granted a 40-year pilot. My estimated loss of property taxes over the 40 years will be $68 million for the new pilot, plus my estimate completed pilot is a loss of $50 million in property taxes. the total being an estimated loss of $138 million in tax dollars for the Catskill School District, of which I am a resident, the town of Athens, and Greene County. The IDA notes in its pilot summary that 31 staff and the estimated payroll of $4,500,000 would continue. Compare that to what if the Catskill School District, 1,300 students and staff of approximately 236, with a salary payroll of $24,788,000, does not keep up with the cost of operating the school. It would maybe need a possible 60% majority vote to even get a school budget passed. How did the IDA calculate the beginning balance of $5,250,000 for a 20-year pilot? What was the source? Would a revised town assessment render the proposed pilot null? What financial information and the source of the financial information used in evaluating this pilot? Is the financial information subject to the Freedom of Information Act? L&B Company is a private equity firm formed in 2010. It's in Dallas Parkway, Plano, Texas. It is a registered foreign corporation. How much financial liquidity does this equity company have to underwrite Athens Gen in lieu of the pilot agreement? I mean, if you looked at the chart that I have in my payroll for LNV Corporation, Athens Gen goes directly back to NLV Corporation, and it is operated by Robert Ackerman. This is a venture capitalist company. They're there to make money. They're there to take any tax break they can get. They're not interested in the company. I'm not interested in the town or the village or a school district. Interested in making money. That's what venture capitalists do. Athens Gen was, one more statement on behalf. Athens Gen was given the opportunity over the last 20 years, an estimated $50 million reduction in property taxes to aid their growth in the industry. Based on their performance, another pilot would be futile. Athens Gen must negotiate with the town of Athens a reasonable assessment for property tax purpose. The IDA needs to exit the process. I think that we're in an indentured system now. The IDA has indentured all of us for 40 years. Thank you very much.
Do I have anybody else who'd like to speak?
Hi everyone, my name is Kate Collinson. I'm a resident of Athens, and I wrote this out because I'm not as eloquent as some of you. So as many of us know, there are health risks associated with combined cycle natural gas power plants, which this plant is. The health risks are associated with direct emissions, which include nitrous oxides and volatile organic compounds. Additionally, secondary emissions which form in the environment after the release of nitrous oxide and VOCs include ozone and particulate matter, PM 2.5, if you're familiar with it. So nitrous oxide causes and is related to a number of respiratory problems, including asthma and bronchitis. Particulate matter and ozone, which are formed as secondary emissions, are associated with an extensive list of adverse health outcomes, including, and very particularly relevant to me right now, preterm birth, low birth weights, postnatal, neonatal mortality, and then lung cancer and respiratory illnesses. So it's a risk for us all to be living this close to a power plant like this. And whether or not we feel that risk is justified or not, we should still be benefiting from the plant being this close, and I don't think the pilot should be extended further, and I think the plant should be paying its fair share of taxes if we're going to take on this risk.
Anybody else? So at this time, I'd like to close the meeting at 7:22. Thank you. The next process is we will get the minutes, and then the IDA and the council will formulate our responses, and they will all be posted to our website. That is www.greenida.com. Thank you.